All right, so you're thinking about this yellow brick formula thing, right?
Yeah.
And their 5-day live sprint that starts January 13th, 2025.
That's the one.
Yeah, you want to know, is it legit or is it just another one of these things that promises you the moon, right?
Right.
We got you.
Absolutely.
We're going to break it down.
We're going to dive deep.
Think of us as your own personal research team, you know?
That's right.
No hype, no bashing.
That's the fact.
Just the facts.
Yeah.
And then some expert insights to kind of help you figure out if this whole yellow brick road thing actually leads to, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Financial freedom.
Financial freedom. There you go.
That's it.
So we've been going through all their materials.
Sifting through everything.
Testimonials, all that stuff.
Looking for those golden nuggets.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll help you make the best decision.
Okay, so the core of their program seems to be teaching a single skill, which is trading these microcap cryptocurrencies. They're really pushing this business model angle like it's a repeatable process, not a get-rich-quick scheme.
I see.
What do you think about that?
Well, it's interesting how they're positioning it as a skill-based approach,
Yeah.
not relying on just like luck or market timing.
Right.
And so that resonates with me.
Yeah.
The idea that success in trading, especially in a market like crypto, requires a really solid foundation and a very disciplined strategy.
Absolutely. And they're definitely hammering home this whole freedom aspect, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like escaping the rat race of being economy-proof.
Financial independence.
Financial independence.
Yeah.
They use some really bold language, though.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Okay, so they say it's recession-proof. It's president-proof.
Wow.
It's even Kim Kardashian-proof.
Okay.
How can you resist that?
That's some clever marketing right there, tapping into that desire for stability control.
Yeah.
Especially in uncertain times.
It's a message that's probably going to resonate with a lot of people.
I think so.
Especially people looking for alternatives.
For sure.
To traditional, financial systems.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But what really caught my eye were the testimonials.
Oh, yeah, those are pretty interesting.
Like Walt turning $200 into over $3,300
wow.
in just 4 days.
That's impressive.
Only 2 trades.
Really?
I mean, come on, is that even possible?
Well, the testimonials are definitely attention-grabbing, right?
Yeah.
They paint this picture of rapid success.
Right.
Showcasing the potential of your system.
Yeah.
Of course, you always have to remember that these are individual experiences.
For sure.
And not everyone's going to have the same results.
Of course, of course. But it does make you wonder.
What's the secret sauce?
Yeah, what is it? What's so special about their formula that's generating these kinds of results?
Yeah, what is it?
Well, I guess that's what we're here to find out.
Exactly.
One thing that stands out to me is they focus on microcap coins.
Interesting.
Which is like this niche area in the crypto market, known for its volatility, but also high reward.
High reward, yeah.
High risk, high reward.
That seems to be the theme here.
Right.
But how do they approach this volatile market in a way that supposedly leads to consistent profits?
Right.
They talk about this production line analogy for trading.
Okay.
Which I thought was kind of an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, it is.
It suggests this systematic approach.
Right.
Almost mechanical.
Yeah.
Which is pretty different from like a,
frantic day traders.
Yeah, exactly.
Glued to their screens.
This production line concept, it kind of implies this methodical process with clear steps.
Like a well-oiled machine?
Yeah, like a well-oiled machine.
With consistent output.
Exactly. And then they mention this doubly tap strategy for maximizing profits.
Interesting.
But they don't really go into much detail.
To keep it a little vague.
Yeah, in their materials about what that actually means.
Right.
I'm curious, have you ever encountered anything like that in your research? It's interesting. Yeah. They're keeping some cards close to their chest. Yeah. Which, from a business perspective, I get it.
Makes sense.
But it does make you wonder, what is this double tap?
Yeah.
And how does that set them apart?
Okay, so we've got this single skill thing.
Right.
The allure of being economy-proof and all these really compelling testimonials.
It's intriguing.
It is very intriguing.
Oh, sure.
But are there any red flags popping up for you?
Well, one thing that always makes me a little cautious is the heavy sales pressure.
Oh, yeah.
The limited time offers, the dwindling seats.
It's that you're missing out thing.
The whole you're missing out narrative.
Right.
It's classic marketing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it can also be a sign to proceed with a little bit of skepticism.
You're right. It's like they're trying to create this sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Which can sometimes,
cloud your judgment.
Cloud your judgment, yeah.
Exactly.
So while the testimonials are inspiring, They might not be the average experience.
Right.
And I think we need to delve a little deeper
I agree.
into the specifics of their approach.
For sure.
Beyond the catchy names and the bold claims.
Absolutely. The next step in our investigation is to dissect those claims and see if they hold up under scrutiny.
Okay, so I think we've laid the groundwork here.
I think so.
We've got the big picture of what the yellow brick formula is all about.
The overview.
The overview.
Yeah.
But now it's time to dig deeper.
Let's dig deeper.
And see what's really going on beneath the surface.
I'm ready.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to analyze their sales material in a lot more detail.
Okay.
And try to separate the hype from reality.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll see you there.
Welcome back. All right, so let's dive into the language they're using in their sales materials.
Yeah.
It's like a puzzle.
Okay.
And we're trying to find those little pieces that give us the bigger picture.
As we were prepping for this deep dive, something that really stood out to me was this constant emphasis on, freedom and being economy proof. They're speaking directly to people's anxieties about, financial instability.
Absolutely. They're tapping into that desire for security and control.
Yeah.
Especially, in uncertain economic times.
Right.
And that promise of financial freedom.
Yeah.
Being immune to all those external forces, that's a powerful motivator.
It is. And it's not just subtle hints either. They use some pretty strong language.
Oh, yeah.
Like recession-proof.
Oh, yeah.
President-proof.
Wow.
Even Kim Kardashian-proof.
All right.
When they're describing their method.
It's bold.
It's almost comical, but also kind of genius, right?
It is. It's a bold approach for sure.
Yeah.
By using such strong language, they're really trying to create this sense of confidence and certainty.
That their system is above it all.
The implication is that, their system transcends the usual economic, ups and downs, political influences.
It's like they're positioning themselves as the ultimate solution to all your financial worries.
Yeah, the antidote to fear.
Right, regardless of what's happening in the world.
Right.
But is that even realistic?
That's the question.
Yeah, can any system truly be economy-proof?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
And while no system can completely eliminate risk, I think the idea behind their approach seems to be about mitigating those risks through a really deep understanding of market dynamics and a very carefully crafted strategy.
Okay, so they're painting this picture of freedom and security,
right?
Which is appealing.
For sure.
But what about the actual process?
Yeah.
They talk about making profits on demand.
Okay.
And in as little as a few hours. It almost sounds too good to be true.
Well, that's where we have to separate the marketing from the reality. While their system might offer the potential for quick profits, it's important to remember that trading, even with a structured system, requires focused discipline and a willingness to learn and adapt.
So it's not just passively checking your phone while you're sipping your latte.
It's not a magic button.
There's real work involved.
Trading involves real-time decision-making,
right?
Assessing market conditions and managing risk.
It's active, right?
It requires active engagement and a solid understanding of the underlying principles.
They also make a big deal about being a hidden industry.
Oh, yeah.
They're revealing secrets that most people don't know about.
Right.
Does that raise any red flags for you?
It's a common tactic.
Okay.
To create that sense of exclusivity and make their system seem more valuable. Right. And while it's important to be wary of anyone claiming to have all the answers,
right,
it's also worth considering that, successful traders often develop unique strategies.
Okay.
And insights that give them an edge.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
But it's something to be aware of.
It's something to keep in mind.
We need to look beyond the marketing and focus on the substance of their approach.
Let's not forget about those impressive testimonials.
Oh, yeah.
They showcase students who have achieved some remarkable results.
Right. But you mentioned earlier that those might not tell the whole story.
Right. Testimonials are carefully selected, to present the most positive outcomes.
Of course.
It's like a highlight reel showing the winning trades, but not necessarily the challenges or the potential losses along the way.
So it's crucial to keep in mind that trading involves risk.
Absolutely.
And not everyone's going to achieve that same level of success.
Right. It's essential to have realistic expectations.
Yeah.
And understand that trading, even with a structured system, involves both wins and losses.
Now let's talk about the Hive, which is their private Discord community.
Right.
They seem to be placing a lot of emphasis on community and support
Yeah.
as a key benefit of the program.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Community can play a huge role in a trader's success, especially for those just starting out.
I can see how being part of a community of like-minded people could provide that sense of belonging, support, and shared learning.
Absolutely. Trading can be very stressful and isolating, you know, especially when you're facing losses or market volatility.
It can be emotional.
Having a supportive community can really help individuals navigate those challenges and stay motivated.
They talk about collaborating, sharing insights, and supporting each other's success.
Yeah, it sounds like a very positive environment for growth and development.
But I think it's important to strike a balance.
Right. So while community can be an amazing resource, it shouldn't replace individual research and critical thinking.
Traders need to develop their own understanding.
Absolutely.
And make informed decisions.
Based on their own risk tolerance. And goals.
It's about finding that sweet spot.
It is.
Between leveraging the support. And developing that independence. And critical thinking.
Those critical thinking skills are essential.
Okay, so we've unpacked their marketing approach.
I have.
We've analyzed the language they use and explored the role of community. But now I think it's time to get to the heart of the matter.
Let's do it.
Their actual trading strategies.
Okay.
What can we glean from their materials?
That's the key question, isn't it? They've given us some glimpses, but the specifics are still a bit of a mystery.
A little bit,
But I think we can piece together some clues from what they've revealed.
They mention a checklist approach.
Yes.
Quite frequently.
A lot.
Implying a systematic method. For identifying and evaluating trading opportunities. I'm kind of intrigued by this checklist concept.
Yeah, me too.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, it seems to be a set of criteria they use to filter through potential microcap coins and pinpoint the ones with the highest probability of success. They describe it as a fail-safe checklist.
Wow.
That takes the guesswork and the emotion
out of trading.
Out of it.
So it's like a structured framework for making informed decisions. Moving that impulsivity, those emotional biases.
Absolutely. Those can lead to costly mistakes.
It's like having that set of objective criteria to guide your decisions. Removing the emotional element and bringing a more disciplined approach.
A more systematic approach.
All right. So we've got this checklist for identifying potential opportunities. But what about actually executing the trades? They keep mentioning this double tap strategy. But the details are pretty scarce.
That's the element they seem to be holding closest to the best. From what we can gather. It appears to involve identifying coins that are poised for a significant upward move.
So you're looking for that momentum.
And then capitalizing on that momentum. With a second strategic entry point.
So it's not just about buying low and selling high.
It's more nuanced than that.
It's about strategically entering the market.
At those two specific points.
At 2 points to ride that wave of momentum.
Exactly. Catching the wave at just the right moment.
But wouldn't that require a really deep understanding?
It would.
Of technical analysis and market patterns?
Absolutely. This is not a strategy for beginners. It requires a solid grasp of how to read charts, identify trends, and anticipate market movements.
So while the double tap strategy sounds really intriguing,
it does.
It's not something to just jump into lightly.
No, it's not.
It requires a certain level of expertise and experience.
For sure, and that's where the paper trading aspect comes in. It's crucial to practice and refine this strategy.
In a simulated environment.
In a simulated environment.
Before risking real money.
Exactly. It's like having a safety net.
Okay.
Allowing you to experiment and learn without the fear of losing real capital. It's a smart approach. Especially when you're dealing with a volatile market like microcap coins.
They emphasize using paper trading to get comfortable with the system. Test different scenarios and build confidence before going live.
It allows individuals to build their skills and knowledge gradually, minimizing the risk of making those impulsive decisions driven by fear or greed.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this part.
I think so.
We've unpacked their marketing,
Well,
dug into the limited information about their strategies, and explored the concept of paper trading.
We've laid a good foundation.
But we're not done yet.
No, we're not.
All right, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into this yellow brick formula.
Time to put it all together.
Yeah, we've gone through their marketing, we've dug into kind of the psychology behind their approach.
Right.
And now it's time to put on our detective hats and really dissect those trading strategies.
Yeah, I like it. Let's break it down.
Yeah, so they talk about this checklist.
Okay.
Like, it's the foundation of their whole system.
Right.
For identifying those microcap coins that have, like, the highest potential for growth.
Yeah. What do you think might be on that checklist?
Well, based on what they've hinted at, I'd imagine it involves things like analyzing the market capitalization,
Okay.
the trading volume, community engagement, and the underlying technology of the coin.
Makes sense. So it's not just about,
Chasing trends.
chasing the latest trends or getting caught up in the hype.
It's about actually doing your research.
Doing your due diligence.
Yeah, making informed decisions.
Based on solid data.
Exactly. A well-structured checklist, I think, can help traders avoid making impulsive decisions.
For sure.
Driven by, like, fear or greed.
Absolutely.
Which can often lead to,
big mistakes.
Big mistakes.
Costly mistakes.
So it's like having this set of objective criteria to guide your decisions, right?
Yeah, to take the emotion out of it.
Take the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
We're bring a more disciplined approach.
A more systematic approach to trading?
Yeah, and that kind of aligns with their whole business-like mindset.
It does.
Right, trading as a profession, not just a gamble.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so let's say you've gone through the checklist. You've identified a promising microcap coin.
Right.
Now it's time for the double tap strategy, right?
This is where things get a little bit more speculative.
Yeah.
Because they've been pretty vague about the details.
They have.
But I think based on what we can gather, it's about timing your entry and exit points.
Okay.
To maximize profits during an upward trend.
So you're not just buying low and selling high.
It's more than that.
You're strategically entering the market.
Right. At specific points.
At 2 points.
2 points to ride that wave.
To ride that wave, yeah.
It's like catching a wave.
Yeah.
At the perfect moment.
To get the most out of the ride.
Exactly.
But wouldn't that require you to have a really deep understanding
It would.
of technical analysis and market patterns?
Absolutely. This is not something for beginners.
Okay.
It requires that you really know how to read the charts, identify those trends, anticipate those market movements.
So while the double lead tap strategy sounds intriguing,
yeah, it does.
It's not something to jump into lightly.
No, you got to know what you're doing.
You got to know what you're doing. It requires a certain level of expertise and experience.
For sure, and that's where paper trading comes in.
Yeah.
It's so crucial to practice this.
Yeah, in a simulated environment.
Before you risk real money.
Right, it's like having a safety net.
Yeah.
So you can experiment and learn without actually losing any money.
It's a smart approach, especially when you're dealing with microcap coins.
Yeah, they really emphasize that paper trading to get comfortable with the system.
Yeah, test it out.
Test different scenarios.
Build that confidence.
Build the confidence before you go live.
Right.
All right, so I think we've analyzed their checklist and their double tap strategy.
I think so.
We've highlighted the potential benefits.
We have.
But also like the need for caution.
Absolutely.
And a solid understanding of trading principles.
Right.
Now let's connect all this back to you, the listener.
Okay.
At the end of the day, the decision of whether or not to invest in this yellow brick formula is a personal one.
You got it.
It depends on your goals.
Right.
Your risk tolerance, the amount of time and effort that you're willing to dedicate.
It's a commitment.
It is a commitment.
For sure.
We've given you the insights and the tools to evaluate their program.
We have.
We've shown you the good.
The potential.
The potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've also highlighted the risks.
Right. You got to weigh those.
Now it's up to you.
To make the decision.
To weigh the pros and cons.
Yeah, do your research.
Do your own research.
Make sure it aligns with your goals.
And decide if this is right for you.
Exactly.
Remember, skepticism is healthy.
Always.
Don't be swayed by hype or promises of, like, easy riches.
It's not a magic button.
It's not a magic button. No, it takes work.
It does.
Take the time to understand the system.
Practice.
Practice with that paper trading.
Yes.
And approach trading with that disciplined business-like mindset.
Absolutely.
And most importantly,
what's that?
Never invest more than you can afford to lose.
That's rule number 1.
This crypto market is volatile.
It is.
It's unpredictable.
And even the best strategies can't guarantee profits.
So is the yellow brick formula the answer to all your problems, the path to financial freedom?
That's for you to decide.
That's for you to decide.
We've given you the information.
We've given you the tools.
There you got to make the call.
We hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and the confidence
Absolutely.
to navigate this exciting world of microcap crypto trading.
It is exciting.
It's a wild ride.
That's for sure.
And to make those informed decisions.
Based on your own personal circumstances.
That align with your financial goals.
Absolutely.
Remember the journey to financial success.
It's a journey.
It's paved with knowledge, discipline, and a willingness to learn and adapt.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep striving towards your financial dreams.
That's what it's all about.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. What stood out to you during this episode?
What resonated with you?
What questions do you have? What insights do you have? Share your comments below.
Let's have a conversation.
Let's continue the conversation. And until next time, happy trading.
Happy trading, everyone.